What do you think the word diligence is? If you're asked the question, define diligence, what would your answer be? So I encountered a quote a while ago, and it's been very, very helpful to me. It became something that I was very endeared to, something that I decided to follow. The quote says, "Seest thou a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings and not before mean men." So I was very happy when I encountered this quote. I was so excited. And do you know why? Because from this saying, it means that I have a slot, I have a chance, I have an opportunity to be among people who are considered to be kings. And for the context of our discussion today, let's limit the word kings to 3 words: people who are heavily wealthy, influential, and powerful. So I was so happy that so I can chill with the big boys. I can hang around kings, having not come from that kingly physical background. So I was very happy, and I decided to be diligent. But the problem was, what is diligence? How do I become diligent? And that's what I want to talk to you about today. So I took a research on that word diligence. I began to study what the word diligence means. Trust me, if you ask 100 persons what the word diligence means, you'll probably get 90 different answers, because to every man, there's a different definition. So I had to study what other persons have said and did my own personal research on that word diligence. And I found out that diligence is a state. Diligence is a state of exactitude, accuracy, and perfection, deviating only slightly within acceptable limits. So I'll take it again. Diligence is a state of exactitude, accuracy, and perfection, deviating only slightly within acceptable limits. So if you say you are diligent, you should have come to the point where you can say, what I say or what I do, the goods I sell or the services I render, they are exact, they are perfect. If it deviates, it only deviates slightly within acceptable limits, because I've come to a point where I'm diligent. You can trust what comes out from me. So that's the word diligence. That's what I found out. And I also found out that there are many advantages of being diligent. Several advantages. And that's not the focus of this video. I will just list 2. However, if you still want us to talk about more, just leave it in the comment section and we'll do another video talking about the benefits of diligence. However, one of the benefits of diligence is that you'll always be in business. And by business, I don't just mean selling goods and service. By business, I mean whatever craft you have chosen to engage in, you would always find yourself being productive. So a businessman would always have goods to sell, or will always have people demanding for his goods or service. A musician will always have performances, will always have concerts to perform at. A speaker will always have speaking gigs to attend or to speak at. A doctor, a consultant will always have people to listen to him. A thought leader will always have people who are loyal to his ideologies. Whatever it is that your craft is, you always have people demanding for your goods, your service, or your craft. That's an advantage of diligence. When other persons are searching, running around giving business cards and doing social media campaigns, trying to get or struggle for customers or struggle for a following or for listeners, a diligent person is always in business. In fact, people would always be chasing after a diligent person because they know that it is worth the effort. No matter what they go through to get to that diligent person, once they get there, they know that whatever they get from that person is exact, is accurate, is perfect. So that's an advantage of diligence. you would always, and I mean always, be in business. That's something to look at. Then the second advantage of diligence is, yes, you would always be in business, but you have the opportunity to choose the kind of people you want to do business with. What do I mean by that? It's just exactly what the quote said, that you serve kings and not mean men. So many people will be demanding for your service. You have the opportunity to say, oh, I want to serve my craft to people who, as I said, price is not an issue. People who will not negotiate or bargain or negotiate or try to beat down my price or try to beat down what I'm asking, because they understand the value of what I give and they are capable enough to pay me for my goods or my service. So you have the opportunity as a diligent worker to serve kings. You would not, there are some persons you can't call, take for instance, you can't call Vusi Tembakwayo to come speak for, I know he may want to do it as per his genuine kindness or an act of benevolence, but by virtue of where he has gotten to, you can't call Vusi Tembakwayo to come speak at your fellowship meeting in a university that some leaders are gathering. You want to elect the next set of leaders, and your guest minister is Vusi Tembakwayo. By virtue of how he has so built himself, it will be a difficult one to get him there. He's speaking at global leadership conferences, international leadership conferences, business summits that pay him a lot. So because of his diligence, I like to use Vusi as an example, because he's someone I admire. I don't like admiring quietly, according to Chimamanda Adichie. He's someone I've been studying, I've been following, and he embodies that level of diligence. There's something I heard him say that put steel in my resolve. Someone asked me a question: how do you outsource information? How do you do with your keeping up to date to trends? He was like, people pay me a lot, and I quote him, people pay me a lot for me coming to speak to them, to listen to what I have to say. I have to get it right. I'm constantly renewing my mind. I'm constantly feeding myself with quality information. I'm constantly spending a lot to get people to tell me the recent trends in my industry. So people cannot pay me a huge sum of money and I'll come and give data or information that is incorrect. Someone who has come to a point where he's diligent. So if you want to be diligent, you should be rest assured that you'll always be in business, and you can choose the quality of people you serve. So that's the two advantages of diligence I can say in this video. But where I want to get to particularly is, because after I encountered that quote, one of the major challenges or the major question I asked myself, or I kept asking myself, was the fact that, how do I become diligent? How do I become diligent? How do I become diligent? And from my research, I found out that, and I will list again two, very important. So you might want to take notes. Very important. You become diligent by an unbending resolve to be thorough. Again, just like Vusi said, he pays a lot of money for people to constantly feed him with accurate results. He actually takes his time to sit down and go through those information, read, study, and update and upgrade himself. An unbending resolve to be thorough, to leave no stone unturned, to go through every detail, I also encountered another phrase that added steel to my conviction again of diligence. A man some centuries ago was writing to a government official. He only wrote a letter to a government official, but that letter became a masterpiece that was widely read. It's still widely read till today. And the opening of that letter says that many persons, and I paraphrase, many persons have taken out time to write on this subject I'm writing to you about. So there is a lot of information out there about this subject. But I have taken out time to study all of them. And I have come to a place of perfect understanding. And from that standpoint of perfect understanding, I write to you. Why do I write? So that you will be sure of what you are reading. You'll be sure of the information you are getting. This person was bold enough to say that what I'm writing to you comes from a diligent research of every material written about this subject. And not just written about it, but understood by someone into a perfect level. No wonder that letter that was written to a government official became what Christians of today are reading. From centuries ago, even up until today, it's still valid because of the diligence that was put in to writing that letter. So that unbending resolve to be thorough in every detail. And who am I talking about, you might ask? It was a letter that Dr. Luke wrote to Theophilus, which was captured and canonized into the Christian Bible. That unbending resolve to be thorough. Don't leave any stone unturned. How do you become accurate? How do you know that whatever you are saying is correct, is exact, is perfect? When you have not studied everything that there is, or when you have not studied a significant quantity of everything that there is. For you to come to that point where you are exact, accurate, and perfect, deviating only slightly within acceptable limits, you have to be thorough. You have to go through every detail available. And then number 2, practice, practice, practice. It can never be overemphasized, the importance of practice. So if you take out time to go through and study and read about a subject, you can only know the theories of it. But when it comes to the practicability or doing it pragmatically, one can only do much. It's just like saying you can read about swimming, study the techniques, study hours, research, tomes and tomes of materials on swimming. It can never replace the actual swimming itself. So once you have taken out the time to be thorough, to look at every detail that there is, also take out the time to practice. Practice the things you've learned. Practice the things. Keep doing it over and over and over again. I know some footballers who, when you see them take some free kicks, it might look very impossible, but when they take the shot, it is so flawless and accurate that it's as if it was carefully curated by the gods. Trust me, it came out of a place of practice. Taking thousands and thousands of that one shot to a point where he or she can stand before a crowd of thousands of people. And once he takes that shot, you'll be like, oh, this guy is good. Yes, he's good, but he came out of a place of practice. He came out of a place of thorough studying of his craft and then practice. So, seest thou a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings and not before men. So, just to summarize what has been said, diligence is a state of being exact, accurate, and perfect, deviating only slightly within acceptable limits. 2 advantages of diligence: you always be in business. And secondly, you have the opportunity to choose the people you serve. You will not serve mean men. You serve kings, people who are heavily wealthy, influential, and powerful. How do you become diligent? an unbending resolve to be thorough, to go through every detail, to leave no stone unturned. And then practice, practice, practice. Oh, it can never be overemphasized, the importance of practice. So I hope you find this helpful, and I hope you begin the journey of being diligent. My name is David Okechukwu, and I'm the founder of TMM. And until the next time, ciao.